that we've seen. I want to see more out of him. So maybe my pick is more like an encouragement rather than a prediction. I want to see some serious driving out there tonight.
Yeah, and I think minus this one guy that I always talk about, that he's not here, thank goodness, and I don't think we'll see him in the foreseeable future, but I'm not going to call his name. Without that guy, it might be a little different down there. Last week was just a complete crap show. It was a crap shoot, just didn't look good, didn't sit well, probably with a lot of folks at home. I didn't like it. What about you? You got any thoughts on it? Or you just want to take us to a commercial?
I don't know if I should. I'm always the positive thinker in terms of last week's race. I gotta think back, but honestly, I don't have much bad to say. It was the kind of thing where I would just take us to commercial, to be honest. At this point, Big Al, I don't want to disparage anybody, and I don't have anything bad to say about it. It was an up and down race. We had a short track, right? And that's just the kind of thing that always causes trouble.
Well, here's to everyone having a top 10 finish tonight. Let's go ahead and take a pause for the cause. Going to get our national anthem, and we'll be right back here with coverage of tonight's race.
Race fans, it is time for those most famous words in motorsports. Driver, start your engine!
Welcome back, folks, to the ISCA Super Cup Series. We've got a non-points race coming up, but it's going to be an exciting one, and I'm going to run down the grid for you right now. Your pole position goes to Tim Wortman Jr. Second place, Jerry Walters. Third is going to be Mark Sanchez. Fourth, Charles Van Schuck. Fifth, Richard Kleinman. Sixth, Jose Medina. Seventh, J.C. Evans. 8th, Greg Wyszynski. 9th, Kenny Powell. 10th, Nick King. 11th, Derek Jacobs. And rounding out your 12-car field, Paul Olson.
Big one here tonight, Joe. I think the key is going to be trying to get that top 10 finish. You don't want to be that guy that gets left out. Now, one thing that's going to happen is going to make that actually achievable is you're going to have to avoid the wreckage. Remember, we got those bumps that we're talking about. Don't think dirty air is going to be a problem. Hopefully we won't see lap traffic become too much of an issue, and everybody should have plenty of room out there to be able to make it around.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of hoping too. There's going to be plenty of room. I just want to see, what I want to see is the long game. I want to see the strategies here that play out over the course of the entire race. I want to see who's going to try to outthink the other racer as opposed to just plain outrace them. That's where I think this is going to come into play. We wait 12 cars on a field that's a mile and a half long. There's a very good chance that a lot of these guys won't see each other for a good portion of this race. So when it does come down to that time you've got alone, when you've got the air and it's all yours, what do you do with it? When do you stop? Where do you put the car? That kind of strategy is going to come into play, and I'm kind of excited to see it.
Yeah, and so what guys are down there actually that have a little team action going on tonight, they'll actually be able to communicate with each other and figure out how it's going to work for them going through those stages. Stage 1, I fully expect to see guys actually going out there hammering down, trying to figure out how good that setup is, how it holds. Stage 2, I see expect to see a little bit more fine tuning. Everybody bring in those setups, getting it home where that car's where it wants to be for the long haul. In Stage 3, you should have it dialed in, and at that point should just be the race strategy. And not all the time you actually get to talk about racecraft and race strategy. So hopefully with a smaller field tonight, some of those things will come into play.
That's right. That's right. You mentioned some team racing. It looks like Gas and Go Racing has got almost half the field down there tonight. It's a pretty heavy field for Gas and Go as a team. We've also got Warrior Racing. That's Nick King and Tim Wortman. And then the sole representative of RKR, Richard Kleiman. Sorry.
Even though it seems like it's kind of a night off, it's a team building event. Look at it like that.
Yeah.
Get a chance to come out and build a little camaraderie with your guys and just kind of get to smash and talk a little trash amongst yourselves, and even try to push some other guys out and see if you can't make this a G&G all the way. I remember this league back when G&G would actually come out here every week and just mop the floor. It'd be a G&G 1, 2, 3. And I was like, man, it seems like they kind of got a lock on this place. But now it's really kind of changed up a lot a bit. You got a lot of different teams that have come onto the scene, especially as of late. And they're actually out there making a mark for themselves. Like you got the Paradigm guys. You got Altus, you got Fortis, and just to name a few. So that definitely adds another dynamic to what the folks at home are seeing, because it kind of gives you that soap opera effect.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It adds to the narrative. Then there is a narrative that plays out over the course of these seasons for these guys that are on teams or driving individually all together. It's really, there is a bit of a drama here, and the drama is written into the actual action itself and into the nature of who's competing against who and what teams have a history against what other teams. So you're absolutely right. We're going to see some interesting stuff, but there goes the pace car. We're getting ready now to get things started. Tim Wortman Jr. and Jerry Walters. There's the green flag, and we are go on the Super Cup Series.
Yeah, not sure what was going on with Kleiman. Is he really kind of laid back there, or Jerry Walters on that start? And that really allowed Tim Wortman Jr. to get a good go at it now. And he go at it, he did. Kind of caused that bottom row to kind of, I don't know. The start was a little bit weak. I'm going to give it a C- there from the big scoremanship.
Yeah, ooh. And then a big pass from Mart Sanchez on the outside. Massive amount of thrust there, takes him falling past Tim Wortman. Wortman falling back a little bit now, just trying to find a spot down on the inside. He's taking that inside line very seriously, though. He hasn't really thrown the car up to the outside wall yet once, but it's costing him. And I think the outside might have the speed here as Wortman Jr. falls back another place, giving Jerry Walters the second place spot.
Guys slowly starting to sort it out, but still 2x2s to go back to third place. 3 wide going into turn 4. This is really getting sporty as Tim Wortman Jr. goes high. Now he comes low. He's going to be sitting right on top of J.C. Evans. Got the 0 of Ben Short coming up behind him. I hope I got that right. We'll find out at the end. But right now, though, these guys still no sign of sorting it out anytime soon.
You're right about that. This is a little pack of cars that I thought these guys were going to sort things out a little bit quicker, but they're keeping things competitive here. We're on lap 3, going to 35 right now, and in the 83 of Wortman Jr. puts it very close to the tail of J.C. Evans. He's really giving him almost a push through the tri-oval there. Over into turn 1 now. These guys are finally starting to maybe straighten things out a little bit, but further back, we've still got a little bit of action. Kenny Powell just a little ways behind Jose Medina right now. Powell looking potentially on the inside. Maybe you're going to get the pass there. We'll see if he can get enough momentum.
I definitely got to give a shout out to Mark Sanchez in that 29 machine as he's actually taking the reins here tonight, leading this field for the first time. Mark, good to see you up front, man. Hope you can actually go back and watch this. Give yourself a good old attaboy, as we like what we're seeing from the booth.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll
give that 5 big attaboys.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 5 big attaboys for the 29 of Mark Sanchez. You got Jerry Walters now. He's starting to actually make himself get comfortable there on that high side. As you can see, a lot of drivers taking the lower end, but Walters there running around the outside of the ring, going to get a big run there trying to come in on the 29 of Sanchez. Going to come up right here by the door. These two going to be side by side going into 4.
It's been paying off for Jerry Walters up there on the outside. He's been able to keep that momentum out of the turn exits in such a way that's inched him forward enough to now get the race lead away from Mark Sanchez.
You know, this is one of those tracks, though, where Las Vegas, it just really lures you in. It gives you a false sense of security, makes you think that your tires are going to make it last. And so drivers are going to get out there and get a lot faster. As you see J.C. Evans, Mark Sanchez getting a little bit of incidental contact there. Not actual contact, but just good, clean racing. But you watch the 63 Jerry Walters now. He is actually running away, and I don't know if that's going to work out for Jerry. You're really going to need to keep somebody around you so you can make sure that you're running the right pace. But, hey, 35 laps in the first stage, I think he's on his way. He knows what he's doing.
He does, and falling back now into the pack, there's a situation forming here. Greg Wyszynski, Richard Kleinman falling back a little bit on the inside line. He's getting rotated around now. Greg Wyszynski in the 5 on the outside moves forward a little bit, finds the 6th place spot, takes that from Kleinman. Kleinman's still, unfortunately, unable to hold. It looks like he's going to fall back a little further. No, not quite, as Jose Medina dives down below the line. I thought maybe he was going to put it 3 wide.
Not 3 wide, not just yet, but we are still rugged and racing here. Green flag all the way. 9 laps into it. Lap 10 coming around this time of 30 into stage 1. J.C. Evans actually chasing down Jerry Walters now. J.C. is actually kind of stretching his legs a little bit. I'm going to be watching this, and we're going to be watching this to actually see just how much of these lap times kind of fall out. Right now, we got the bestest lap time of all being laid down at the 30.336. That was by Paul Olson, who's currently running in 11th place. Fastest lap that time was by Mr. Sanchez himself at a 30.593. So we are definitely starting to see these times fade off just a little bit with only a third of the stage actually in the books there, Joe.
And that fall off is going to be something to write home about. Basically, I think it's going to be the slow death for a lot of these cars. We'll see who has really been paying attention to their tire wear over the course of these, even just the first 11 laps here, Big Al. Seeing the 11 laps go by for us has been a breeze, but for these tires already on an 111 degree track, it's got to be hell on wheels.
Yeah, indeed, and drivers have to be very, they got to be aware of that fact. These tires aren't going to last here, but it's a good chance to go out there and just let stage 1 run, because it doesn't matter. It's not for any point. So I understand the concept of just letting the big dog eat.
Yeah, yeah. Just go out there and kill it. See what you can do. Drive the car harder than you've driven it before. See what kind of limits you can find for yourself and pass them. And right now, speaking of passing, Charles Van Schuck moves up a little bit to 4th place. Gets the pass on Greg Wyszynski. Gets a little bit of a gap as well. About a car length and a half there. Looking pretty solid. If we go back a little ways, now 2 wide. Kenny Powell and Tim Wortman Jr. Wortman previously up in the front here. Now he's falling back even further. What's going on? I can't tell you what's going on with Wortman Jr. right now, but it seems like something is not quite clicking with the car, with the line. Something is not quite there because now he's down 6 places from where he started in, I believe, on the pole. Or in 2nd place. He was close to it. I think he was the pole position. So it was it's an interesting night, or an early night for Tim Wortman Jr. to start throwing in the towel unless he's doing some serious tire saving.
Man, let the man drive. Yeah, he did. He actually did get the pole. He was a fast dude. He's still a fast dude. I don't know. Maybe he is just kind of saving it back. We're only halfway through this stage, which means what goes up must come down. These other guys that are out there, and that's what I'm saying. The key thing to this is being able to pace yourself, not just to go out there and race yourself. So we're going to see this. This is going to make a big impact here towards the end of this thing.
And I'm seeing kind of a lot of movement. I'm watching, if we still got eyes on Wortman Jr. here, he's got kind of a low line, but when he does come up, I'm seeing just a touch of, just a bit of tightness in the car. And I'm wondering if that's partly what he's fighting here. But time will tell. Right now, we've got an update on this one situation. Jerry Walters is now down pit road.
Gotta be keeping an eye on that 63, check his situation, because a little bit early to be coming down pit road. Not sure what's going on with that car, but definitely we're going to be tuned in to see. Hopefully he's not thrown in the towel. I mean, I don't know what's happening. He was actually running up front, good solid run tonight.
He really was. He was in great shape. It looks like he's going in, getting some tires put on. That's one set, potentially a second set. Yep, getting a full set of tires, maybe topping up the gas. Yeah, he's fine. He's driving right off the road. No penalties, nothing.
Well, you got a car that goes down low down on the inside. I believe that's going to be the 12 of Nick King. He just was that it was either the 12 or the 27. Just took a wild ride.
Oh, whoever it was, they kept it on the inside enough that we are still green and going.
Yeah, no contact there, so everything was good to go. No one's cut the grass yet.
Let's look in the way back machine, see what happened.
That's a bit 27 of Derek Walters. You see him right there. Just get a little bit tight there in the turn. Takes it down low up against that inside wall, but keeps it pointed in the right direction. So the green flag stays out and we continue racing. I want to thank Cody there for being right on top of that, pulling it up for us so we can actually bring that action back to you just in case you missed it.
Yes, sir. Lap 17 right now overall for Jerry Walters. But up at the front, J.C. Evans is on lap 19.
And you see
which puts us within
down deep.
Yeah. There's another car back there who's doing some deep diving.
And this might be indicative of just, tire wear. Maybe these guys came out here and ran it a little bit too hard. Plus, this track temp's not anybody's friend. I mean, current track temperature right now, I'm looking at it is it's 111 degrees on the street, 84 degrees in the seat. So that's definitely not going to help you have the best years on those good years. So
I can just imagine the tires turning into butter as they go around here much faster than usual. I think that's why they've got 6 sets behind the wall there. As down below the line goes Wortman Jr. Just part of his trial over there, though. Nothing crazy. J.C. Evans still out in the lead by a few car lengths here. About half a second.
This is exactly we talked about this one thing. You gotta let the racetrack do its thing. You gotta let the car come to you. There's no sense of going out there racing yourself, chasing yourself. And that's exactly what Wortman did. He just kind of slowed down, gathered himself, went out there. Now he's running his own race. J.C. Evans setting the pace for everybody. Great to see J.C. up front. That's awesome for that number 9 car in that team. Those guys have had their share of tribulations as well as trials, and I don't just always mean time trials. So to see that 9 car actually come out here tonight and lead this thing, Joe, that's got to inspire them. Even though it's not a points event, it still feels good to be number 1.
Always. Oh yeah. I've won exactly one race in an official iRacing, and it was a Draft Master race. And you know what? I was king that day. So a win's a win. It doesn't matter if you're out front, you're feeling good. If it doesn't matter what race you're in, how many people are in it, points or no points. It's that feeling we're all kind of searching for when we're out here racing.
Yeah, absolutely. We got the 12 car Nick King. He's going to be coming down pit road. Going to keep our eyes on him, make sure he's getting the treatment that he needs, and hopefully he can stay in this thing. But you're right, Joe. There's a lot of people out there that have never actually felt winning. And to those people, I mean, my condolences, because, I mean, I'm a winner. I can't stand losing. It's just not in me. I'm just saying, no, I'm not that guy. I'm not gonna be. I mean, I'm not just gonna go flailing and kick it down. You know, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna celebrate it. Probably not gonna high five you if you're a teammate, especially if I didn't think you were doing your job. That's it.
Well, in this situation, no, you said plenty. I think that you made it clear that winning is not just a fun happenstance. You put some effort into it. You put some elbow grease into getting those wins, man. I think that's very,
It's like being in a band. Guys don't show up to the performance saying, "Oh, guys, sorry I didn't practice." They used to kill me when I was racing, like in the service, because guys would be like, "Man, I just got home, I had a chance to run any laps." Well, this means you're gonna wreck somebody. You know what I mean? Don't pick that instrument up and go out there if you haven't had time to do it. Unless you're that good. Some guys piss excellence, like Greg Wachinski, and they can come out here and just go cold and still win this thing. But the rest of you, take the time to practice.
Well, when Wachinski's doing all right back in 7th, let's talk about a quick change-up up here in the front. Tim Wortman Jr. slides his way into first place again, this time ahead of J.C. Evans. I would have thought that Wortman Jr. was a little more checked out, but like I think we said, he might have just been running a big brain strategy. Might have been taking his time, saving those tires. We're on lap 27 of 35 in stage 1. So we got 9 laps to go to the end of stage 1. Things are looking pretty good for Wortman Jr. now, who is just about a half second ahead of J.C. Evans and then some.
Yeah, and this is what we're talking about when I mentioned racecraft. You got to understand that the race, the stage is 35 laps. So you got to make it that you got to make that car where you and that car can jive and live together for 35 laps. Because it's not going to be as smooth on lap 35 as it was on lap 1. But you got to find that balance. You can't use it all up in the first 15.
Yeah. Yeah, it is a balance.
Yeah, you stated the obvious. Well, sometimes when you're down there and you're in that thing and it's noisy and it's hot and you got the pressure of everybody around you, you're just trying to keep up. Some of these guys aren't. Well, I'm not going to say anything. All of these guys are way better than Big Al, but when you got some more experienced guys that have more wins, they usually kind of go out there, and that's one thing they're good at. They're good at controlling the pace of the race.
And the pace of the race right now is firmly in the hands of Tim Wortman Jr., who has increased the lead into his 2.5 right now, ahead of J.C. Evans. Things still pretty spread out for most of these racers. However, we are 3 wide right now, back a little ways, almost 3 wide. Kleinman just barely gets ahead there of Wachinski, and then the number 12 machine right there. I believe, let's see who's that in the 12. I think that's Nick King.
That's Nick King. That's my driver.
Nick King on the 12 right now, trying to make up his laps. Yeah, he's a lap down, trying to make up a lap. Doing what he can there. Yeah, unfortunately.
He's got Jerry Walters in front of him. Walters will, whenever we pick up the lucky dog, so as long as he stays clean and this thing stays green, So yeah, I understand it. Nick's got to try to pick up at least one of his laps here.
And well, one of the things that he's dealing with right now is he is traffic for these guys, and these guys aren't yet done figuring out where they're going to sit. So with Nick King mixed up in the middle of this right now, Kenny Powell is ready to make the pass on Jose Medina. Nick King following behind him, driving very aggressively, not trying to really give these guys room so much as just work with them and try to make passes when necessary and stay ahead when necessary. So Nick King moves ahead of Kenny Powell in this situation, but only physically, not in place.
Yeah, Nick's got to get around this group of cars right here so he'll have a better shot at actually running the leaders down while he is fresh tires. He's going to be trying to do everything he can to catch the 83 of Tim Wortman Jr., trying to unlap himself even though he is running out of time. Right now we only have 3 laps to go in the stage.
3 laps left in the stage. Greg Wyszynski out ahead a ways of Kenny Powell and Richard Kleinman. Interesting little group here. These guys, they've been pretty much attached at the hip for most of this race so far, giving each other kind of a run for their money, all moving together as a pack through the overall rankings.
Yeah, man, but
Up at
just
the
sitting
front.
here watching this thing, even though it's stage 1 is ticking down. Wow, lap times are well over a second fall off for some of these guys out here. So if some guys are 2 seconds off, that'll tell you just how bad this thing is bearing down on them for stage 1. White flag out for the stage.
All right, we're coming up to it. You want to take us to the end of stage 1 there, Big Al?
I'll roll you on in. Tim Wortman Jr. here, your leader for stage 1, is coming to an end. White flag's out. He is going to take it across the line. Then we're going to be looking for J.C. Evans. J.C., strong run for him. Still going to be trying to do everything he can to just try to get the gap closed between he and the leader. Right now, Tim Wortman Jr. having over a 3-second lead to P2. By the time we get all the way back down to 10th place, that lead really starts to ramp up. Leaders across the start-finish line should be waiting on the 10th place car.
Yeah, it looks like that might be Derek Jacobs. Once we get him to go across the line, we'll do the full breakdown of the top 10. There we go.
There it is.
And that's the end of stage 1. Here's a quick breakdown of your top 10. At the end of that stage, in first place, Tim Wortman Jr., second, J.C. Evans, third, Jose Medina, fourth, Greg Wyszynski, fifth, Kenny Powell, sixth, Richard Kleinman, seventh, Charles Van Schuck, eighth, Mark Sanchez, ninth, Paul Olson, and 10th, Derek Jacobs. With Jerry Walters and Nick King rounding things out just to give you the full 12. I think this is a good time to take a really... Yep, I was about to say the same thing, Big Al. I think it's a good time to take a quick commercial break, folks. When we get back, stage 2. Stick around.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
At Trader Joe's, we do things a little differently, and our customers hold us to a very high standard. This is Dan Bain of Trader Joe's. We work hard to live up to the high standard you've come to expect of us. We travel the world to bring you unique, exciting, exotic products, as well as the basics like milk, eggs, and butter, all at the very best prices every day. We also believe that a satisfying shopping experience is about more than just good products. We want you to enjoy shopping at Trader Joe's. The upbeat crew members, the samples of wonderful food served up by our great demo crew, so you'll come back often and bring your family and friends too. And how's this for unique? We're so confident that you'll be happy with the products you find at Trader Joe's, we even have a distinctive guarantee. We've tried it and we liked it, but if you don't, just bring it back for a full refund. Thanks for listening.
We are back, folks, with more of the ISCA Super Cup Series, live from Las Vegas Speedway. Here I am, Joe LaCastro. There he is, Big Al. And very shortly, we're going to have Stage 2 starting off here for you. Let's see what we've got lined up. First things first is going to be Tim Wortman Jr. still at the pole position, kicking things off with J.C. Evans this time on the outside. Not a bad combination. Still everybody on the field, still 12 cars up. Jerry Walters makes his way back onto the lead lap at the end of that stage break. There goes the pace car. We're ready to get things started, looking for the green flag. Get ready for it. Get set. Here we go. There goes Tim Wortman Jr. and J.C. Evans on the Super Cup Series.
Man, Tim Wortman Jr. wasted no time getting that thing fired up and ready to go. If that don't get you pumped up, I don't know what will. J.C. Evans still staying along the high side. But look at Greg Wachinski. He has drugged himself up from the depths, trying to get himself up into the keyhole position. But he's got Kenny Powell, his G&G teammate, trying to keep him honest, maybe. Kenny's dragging him back, though. But the 48 of Jose Medina, he is going to go ahead and go around. Jose found himself a little bit of speed there, looks like, when he was down on pit road.
Yeah, just a bit. Whatever he's done, he's dialed it in pretty well. Up there to the outside, however, of Jose Medina goes Richard Kleinman. Kleinman looking on the outside. He's got the speed. A little bit of contact right now between Kleinman and Medina. Medina is saying, no way, sir. I don't want that heat right now. I'm going to get down to the inside, get out of the way. Kleinman's going to use that moment to take that momentum and get the pass. There goes Richard Kleinman for third place.
You know, it's like we're going to have a little bit of the same thing that we experienced there in stage one with guys actually going out here and possibly not understanding just how fast to run this thing. They got to get a good pace master, a good pace sitter, somebody out there that's gonna keep them honest, though. You know what I mean? Because that's very important. You don't somebody out there leading the pack that's gonna kind of not only keep the pack together, but run in such a way that everybody can save tires as well.
I think you're exactly right. And right now, that person might be Richard Kleinman for the majority of the pack, because Tim Wortman Jr. was out a ways ahead. Now they're catching up to him pretty well. That gap has really reduced as Kleinman is now within spitting distance of Wortman Jr. So then maybe it could be Wortman Jr. setting the pace, but it really feels like Kleinman, as J.C. Evans bounces off the wall hard enough to draw smoke.
I like that. That's his new name. Draw smoke.
And J.C. Evans, draw smoke. I like that one.
Or we can just call him Smoke.
That works too. Well, right now he's the only one who's got that effect here at Las Vegas, at least that I've seen, in terms of getting tagged on the outside wall there. Not something you want to have happen on these mile-and-a-half tracks where those hits are heavy.
Yeah, they are, man, and that's the that's that flirt line, if you will, though, because these tracks, this is one of the tracks that cuts your teeth with. So everybody understands that trying to get that drive off going into turn one, everybody, you're going to start running a different line because 4 and 1 kind of they're synonymous with each other. It's how you exit one kind of really is going to determine how well you're going to start to enter the other one, and they're going to be the ones that are going to show exactly how bad your tire attrition is as well.
Look at the single file line. I think you know what you're talking about.
But Tim Wortman Jr. doing a definitely better job keeping the pack together this time. Although it's still early in stage 2, you can see a lot of drivers are kind of getting in where they fit in. Still got a couple guys down low still, but that's not necessarily because they're being aggressive. I think that's just because their cars are running different lines at this point. One thing I think is just it's a lot easier to run that high line right now when those tires are fresh, so a lot of guys will do that. But as this thing rolls on, you're going to see guys up there, and it's not going to be by choice.
Yeah, I think you're right, my friend. As someone has moved up here who we haven't seen this high in the list yet, Kenny Powell, 3rd place. He's up 6 places from where he started tonight. Oh, little tag of the wall. Nothing that's going to slow him down. Almost into the grass. Powell back up. Close to Kleinman, making the pass, driving very aggressively here. Good speed out of him, though, down on the inside. Just driving like a bat out of hell. Good speed. Kenny Powell makes the pass now and is in 2nd place. Up 7 from where he started, looking at Tim Wortman Jr.
Oh, so, we actually have a little bit of time to unpack this. So you're saying that you think Kenny is over-aggressive, is what you're saying, right?
I just thought that last line, he came down, he flew down on the inside, really good, hard drive. And he's been driving up. It's so reckless. No, I didn't say reckless. Don't be putting words in my mouth, Big Al. You trying to get me in trouble with the boss?
So aggressive. The overly aggressive, right?
I just say aggressive. I won't put overly in front of it. I'm not going to fall for this trap.
It's not a trap. It's just I was just wanting to get your observation on this guy's particular driving style.
No, it was just during that one little bit. I think his driving style so far tonight has been pretty impressive, considering that he's up 7 from where he started, and he's still holding on to 2nd place within, like I said, a stone's throw of 1st if he wanted it.
Yeah, I agree. It's not too bad for someone who's aggressive.
So here comes Wortman Jr. Lap 51. We're looking at lap 60, I believe, for the end of the stage here. 65, something like that. I'll double check that. Yep, 60 it is for the end of the stage. We'll make sure we get that right. So we're on 51. We've got 10 laps to go. Excuse me.
And I'm starting to see it. I'm looking at my buddy Jerry Walters back here in the 63 car, and he is actually his car's starting to step up just a little bit, so you can tell that these tires are not feeling the best. Look at the 12. Nate King, he's actually drifting around turn 3 there, keeping it together. He's going to give you pointing in the right direction. Sorry, my mistake. Turn 2.
Whoop. Kenny Powell trying for the inside. Politely blocked by Wortman. That 83 machine coming down just enough to say, nope, nope, nope. This is not where you're going to put your car.
Yeah, and you're going to get that Warrior Racing team right there ganging up against the Gas and Go guys, because this is what's going on right here. So you can see the 83 is going to be trying to do everything he can to keep that position. But Kenny Powell, he is coming with a vengeance right now. I don't think this is a hey buddy. I think this is more like a move. I don't think this is a time to really be polite. As you say, Kenny's an aggressive driver anyway, so.
Yep, he's well. If that's the case, it's time for him to leverage that a little bit and say, hey, I'm going to put the car here. You get to drive around me.
slowly going to start to try to make this thing come together. But no, Kenny Powell's going to be up, and that's going to allow Richard Kleiman to actually make it by him on the inside there. Kleiman's going to be making it around, trying to solidify stage 2, and Powell's worries are not over as he now has the 9 guard. J.C. Evans is going to be breathing down his neck as well. One little bobble, and just like that, he looks like he is going from second to we don't know yet. Still 5 laps to go in stage 2.
Yeah, this is a preemptive yellow, though, for the stage end. This might take us through the stage end, actually, now that I think about it.
Well, that's a caution. Oh, let's check it out. Let's see what my buddy Nick did. Oh, Nick.
Oh, wow.
Dang, Nick. Remember, I just said earlier he was kind of drifting that thing around, and there it is right there. It catches, hooks up, and he is alone for the ride, head smash into the wall. I mean, it's done for him right there as you see that car sliding to rest in pieces. Man, just not a good night for Nick. Picked him to win this thing overall, but definitely couldn't get it going. That caution is going to come out, and you're right, Joe. That's either going to give us a white flag to the shootout there for the stage, or yeah, I don't think it's going to end the stage. I think it's just too premature to end the stage.
We'll see. I've seen stranger things have happened, but you're right. It's going to be very close. We're going to have almost an organic little shootout situation here, where we're going to have these guys going for it.
Yeah, Kenny's a stage master, so we'll be watching the chat, and we'll let you guys know what comes down the pipe here. Are we live?
I believe so. We just got a couple of, I think we got 1 or 2 laps left to go before we get things kicked back off again here, but I think this is going to probably go through the stage. And what 2 stages it's been. A lot of clean racing so far.
Yeah, indeed it has been, and that's what you get here. That's what you expect when you come to the ISCA. Kind of worrying if that was actually going to be the case tonight, because we had a lot of our hot shots not here, but looks like the guys here in the middle keeping it clean for us, man. Clean and green, you got to love it. We didn't even have an over-under. Heck, everybody gets a meat tray. Warm meat trays for everybody this week. You got to love it.
I love it. Got to get that high-calorie diet in. I could use it.
Yeah, just unfortunate for Nick King. I don't know if he's still around. He might have left already.
Looks like he has left the field.
Nick King has left the building. Yeah, I was thinking about maybe drawing him up here and kind of getting a little bit of an interview, but and that's something we got to talk about, Joe. I mean, and also the viewers, like chime in, let us know. You guys want to hear from these guys when they're maybe a little not happy? Would that be something that would interest you if we could maybe pull them up into the booth and say, hey, buddy, what's going on? Hey, like the new paint job.
I'm down with that. As long as we're not, maybe we're not giving them an extra helping of their sorrows. I think that we'll be in good shape. But for some of these, self spins and wrecks and crashes, you got to ask the question, what happened?
Yeah, man, I think everybody needs a moment. You know what I mean? If he doesn't get it at the end of the race, might as well get it when he ends his race.
That's a good way to look at it. I like that. And the lights are off on the pace car, which means you know what it is, folks. This is it. This is the 1 to green situation. This is it for Tim Wortman Jr. and Richard Kleiman out there in front. For Kenny Powell, up 6 places to 3rd place. Very good drive tonight. J.C. Evans also up 3 places to where he's at, 4th place. A really good, solid top 4, but the rest of this field has also been very competitive all night. Let's look for the green. There it is. We're green yet again on the ISCA Super Cup Series Thursday night race.
Hey, they better stick around because right now we've only got one car that's not racing, but we got about 4 cars that are trying to get out of the race here. There's J.C. Evans, Greg Wachinski, Jose Medina, and Mark Sanchez all kind of trying to put it together. Mark Sanchez up ahead. He's going to dive low. Sorry, that's Charles Kleinman.
You mean we're talking about Richard Kleinman?
Yeah, Richard Kleinman, sorry.
There we go. Okay, no, it's all right. I was making sure we're on the same page.
Is Richard and Charles the same thing?
Maybe in some circles. But not here, unfortunately.
That's a good one. That's a good question.
It's a good question. Right now, Kleinman's made his way up to second. He's going to go ahead and hold on to that spot. Quite the little pack of angry bees we've got back there in the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th place positions. These guys haven't sorted themselves out yet. They're too wide. Yellow is flying. That's going to be it for the stage.
That's the stage. Why did I get so excited if it was just the stage?
I thought maybe we had already passed up the stage. I was wrong about that, folks. That is the stage break officially.
That's Tim Wortman Jr., your stage 2 a winner with Richard Kleinman in 2nd. Kenny Powell comes in 3rd. J.C. Evans 4th. Mark Sanchez 5th. Greg Wachinski is going to be 6th with Charles Van Schook in 7th. Schwook. Jose Medina 8th. 9th place Jerry Walters and Paul Oson. Going to round out your top 10. Still got Derek Jacobs in this thing. He is the only driver that did not receive a fake point. So almost good job to you, Derek.
Almost good job. Well, it seems like we just had a break. Now we got another break. Maybe they'll shorten this one down a little bit.
No, this is the stage break, so she's going to actually do what it's going to do. Now, the one thing that's going to be interesting is all of these guys just pitted under the last, so I don't think pit road's going to be busy at all, which means that if you're a lap down, that's going to hurt.
Oh, the whole field did pit road.
They're just making me look bad.
Yeah, they heard you. They heard you say pit road.
They're listening.
I do think there is something beautifully poetic about you saying pit road's going to be kind of empty, and then the entire field of 11 cars goes down pit road.
Yeah, I am looking, and a lot of guys did not pit on that last run, and that would have been the case right there. We did have some guys that elected to pit, but everybody came in this time.
I wouldn't have blamed somebody for staying out thinking that they would have the stage caution anyway, but you had to do some pretty good mental math and just have some faith in the system, I guess, just to think, oh yeah, we'll just have another yellow 2 laps after this one is over with. But you do. That's the name of the game. That's how the stage cautions work. And so they went through the stage caution, got their tires at this time, and they're in much better shape now.
Yeah, I guess I'm just surprised that more people didn't short pit that stage.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of am too, to be honest. I kind of figured that they would, given the stage finish was right there. I figured they'd want good tires for it.
Well, they got 6 sets, and we have not really. We've had the caution flag waved one time here. Unfortunate incident for Nick King. Where are you from, Joe?
Chicago, Illinois.
He was driving like he was from Illinois.
He was weaving through traffic, and I totally get it. Yeah,
that makes sense. That's your
lane splitting.
On him.
I accept. Sorry, I had to sip my tea there. Forgot to mute myself.
You got any
I accept.
plans for Easter, Joe?
Plans for Easter? I'm playing it cool, my man. I think my son and I might go out for a little bite to eat, get a little Easter brunch maybe, but not going to be down in St. Louis. The family is down in St. Louis, but going to be just me and my son on Sunday hanging out, do a little father-son thing, and then that's it for me. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, I don't have any plans. I do, but I don't want to tell everybody about them because, I mean, people probably don't care.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, I
think they
care,
cared.
Big
I
Al.
think they cared about your plans, though. Your plans were exciting.
Oh yeah, real rip roaring brunch. That's the most exciting meal of the day right there.
Well, you know, I'm not hanging out with my son. Haha.
That's
Lights
fair.
off on the pace car. He's gone out of the way. We're getting ready to kick it back. Green again. Got Jerry Walters. He's going to kick it off now. He is gone. Green flag is out. Mark Sanchez high, trying to get it done. Walters is going to come up a little bit, meet him through the corner. Still no takers just yet. No one's got the advantage watching these two cars come off the turn side by side. Sanchez is going to get a little bit of an edge there. He's going to try to take it, but here comes Jerry Walters. He is coming down low. Jerry's going to get the inside. Looks like he has got the advantage at this point. Sanchez still stays high. Back of the field starting to fan out, getting line behind him. Farther back in the pack. We still got side by side there. Looks like that is going to be Greg Wachinski. Tim Wortman Jr. Mark Sanchez gets the pull now. He is clear as his teammate Kenny Powell now comes up. He's going to be knocking on the side door to 63. Jerry Walters himself. Kenny Powell now running that high line, trying to get the advantage. Him and Walters coming across start-finish line. Walters still has a slight advantage. Powell staying high. Walters staying low, dragging in right behind 29 of Mark Sanchez as Kenny Powell gets a solid launch, and he is going to catapult himself down the backstretch and into a solid lead. Kenny Powell takes his first spot in the lead here for tonight.
Ooh. And he just took the wall, gave him just a little bit of payback for it. That was a solid drive. Kenny Powell really putting on a great show right now here in Las Vegas, making his way up 8 positions to take that lead. Jerry Walters finally finds his groove again on the outside, which is where I think he wanted to be that whole time, as he easily walks past Kenny Powell. Walters happier, I think, on the outside than down on the inside, where he's been forced to race some of this the early parts of stage 3 here. Much happier on the outside, much better there. Still very, very good passing game, pretty much anywhere on the track. Knows how to use all of this track at any given time too. And so what the result is that you just get a ton of stability out of that car. It's really impressive.
Man, what was impressive is when we were riding with Kenny Powell right there, I was taking the time to look at that paint scheme there on that 24 Gas and Go Camry, and man, that's wow. You know, you really don't get the chance to appreciate some of the paint schemes of these drivers of their cars, but a lot of these guys put time and money into that. And I know Kenny designed his own paint schemes as well as he's done a couple more out there. But yeah, if you just get a look at some of the detail on some of these schemes, man, it's pretty impressive.
Brings out the creative side in some of our iRacing members. And it's always fun to see when you can blend those two hobbies. When you can blend the creative hobbies with the racing hobby. You can see just what kind of visuals you can get that are both inspiring and professional. So
yeah, definitely.
Not just complete shit posts, but like nice stuff.
Yeah, that totally it helps with the immersion into the sport. And I believe I was actually checking out Charles Van Schwook's website there, man, and he does a lot with the decals and custom paints even. So want to definitely throw a bone out to him if you guys are looking at maybe decals for Father's Day, maybe. You can go out there and check out his website. We'll throw it there in the link for you there so you can see it. But just something just to think about. Like I said, I was over there checking it out and I was pretty inspired.
And here is Jerry Walters. Just leading things right now. Hell, we're half a second out in front. I think we're getting into that green flag stretch right now, Big Al. What do you think?
Yeah, I definitely think it's just that time, and this is the crappy part of the trip. This is the part that has to get done, but everybody falls asleep except for the driver. So right now, you got that crew chief, and he's letting them know that, hey, look, we still got to make it to our pit time. So you don't want to be premature, because whatever you use up prematurely, you're going to leave yourself short that towards the end, and everybody's going to have clean skins. And the rate this thing is running, Joe, without having a lot of cautions, I don't think you can bank on that. So you have to conserve. This is one of those talking points to the race here before we even started, tire management. And a lot of times you don't have to worry about that because you're doing stage racing, whether you're doing 8 opens or whatever. You can you're backfilled by cautions. Well, with a small field size like this, and the spacing that they have amongst themselves, and that dude's not here anymore, yeah, so it could actually be a green flag pit stop type night.
Well, we know there's going to be one green flag pit stop for sure, because they've got about 75 laps of fuel in them. We're doing about a 100 lap stage. So about 75 laps in, somewhere around lap 140, there's going to be a series of green flag pit stops from at least everybody who took their last green flag pit stop, or took the last pit stop at the stage break. Sorry,
yeah, definitely. This is one of those things, man, and I'm going to say this, and it might be controversial, but if you're not a fan of green flag racing, this probably isn't the league to come to. I know a lot of people like to see racing because of the cautions. Cautions change things. They change strategies, right? Well, the strategy for these guys tonight is going to be banned. There could possibly not be a caution. And we talked about this too as one of the racing points, man. You got to be able to make those green flag pit stops. And my background, it really pushed me to practice dumb shit, because you have to practice. Excellence is the basics master. You want to be excellent, master the basics, right? And I'll quote a great General Petraeus, and he said, "Perfect practice makes perfect." So if you're out there and you're getting into sim racing or whatever, you got to practice the way you're going to race. You got to run a tank of gas out of that thing, man, and try to come down and get tired, because you're going to find yourself in a situation like this. And that goes back to what I said earlier, Jeff, about driving for show and pitting for dough.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of killing time because we got a little bit of a racing going on here. Got a nice lull, getting ready to kick it back to take you all to the pump it up section. We'll be able to crank up is it pump it up or crank it up? What are we doing? Crank it up. There you go. So since you said it, Joe, let's go ahead and crank it up.
Let's do it. Turn it up, folks. All right, folks, welcome back to the ISCA Super Cup Series Thursday night race. That was our little pump it up section where you got to enjoy the sights and sounds of Las Vegas Speedway with the guys from the ISCA. We're on lap 83 going to 167 tonight. Oh, had to look at the number. Right. 167, and so we're within the 100 lap gap now. Big Al, how you feeling about this?
We're almost halfway, Joe. We're just coming up on halfway of this thing. And right now, if you're still in it, and everybody is, if you can believe that, we started this thing with 12 cars, 11 cars still in the race, 11 cars still on the lead lap. So that means these guys all have an opportunity to win this thing because it could all fall apart at any time. It could fall apart on pit road. You know what I mean? That's why we're here. We're here to see how it all plays out. So, man, I'm happy. I love the seats that we got here. I love the suite. This is awesome. Booth life's not bad life.
Yeah, it's good. I like that. Booth life is not bad life. I love it up here. It's the best seat in the house as far as I'm concerned. You know, you get to see a little bit of everything. And right now, what we get to see is some excellent racing. And this racing has been green flag for a while, but there's been a handful of changes for the lead. There's been a handful of bumps and scratches here and there. But for the most part, the ISCA delivers yet again. And we've had a lot of green flag racing tonight. Let's talk a little bit about the man out in front, Kenny Powell. Very strong, 8th place in 8 places up from where he started this race toward the back of the pack. Him and Richard Kleinman are in the top 2 spots right now. Kleinman is closing the gap on Powell, or at least he was. Right now, the gap looks like it's hovering around a little less than half a second, but he's the only one really putting any pressure on him because back from Kleinman, it's a full second and a half between Kleinman and J.C. Evans. That's the first of many large gaps in this field so far. So until Kenny Powell and Kleinman come across the lapped car of Derek Jacobs and put him a lap down, I think these two are just going to have the field to themselves for a while. And there he goes. Let's see. Eyes on Kenny Powell.
All eyes on the boss. This Kenny Powell's definitely, like you said, he's been out front tonight for a pretty substantial amount of the race. Right now, I'm just watching because his fall off right now is approaching 1 second. A fall off there between the tire wear. So watching to see that, there's some guys that, well, everybody is now running above 31 seconds, so everybody is at least a half a second slower than their best times. But just trying to find out if there's any big numbers out there, because we see big numbers, slow times. That could possibly mean, guys that are struggling. Derek Jacobs, for example, is putting out a 31.7. Compare that to the leader's 31.3. Compare that to the fastest lap of Mark Sanchez at a 31.1. So you got you got a half a second between the fastest and the slowest car on the track.
A half a second. It doesn't seem like much, does it?
Well, it's not much, but it adds up.
Yeah, I was gonna say it doesn't seem like much, but it's a half a second, and that half second it's everything. Yeah, it really is. All of these guys are so spread out. And the fact that they're all driving within that gap of just a half second means there's not a lot of catching up going on. These guys are all going to stay in these positions unless someone really figures out a new line, changes things up. This is within a half a second. This is where everybody is and is going to be for quite some time. Lap 91 right now.
This is that part of the trip where everybody's just kind of racked out, and you just on the interstate. Wasn't there a movie about that? Like where guys hanging out on the interstate and his wife and kids were asleep?
I don't remember.
Like they were on vacation or something?
Yeah, I don't remember any of that movie. Maybe if someone in the chat remembers, they can post it to us, but I do not think off the top of my head.
Like somebody peed on the sandwich or something too. I don't know if it was a dog or a kid.
And a quick shout out to Jeremy in the YouTube chat, Jeremy and Steve. Nice to have you guys along for the ride.
Yeah, hey, Jeremy and Steve, thank you guys for trolling with us here tonight. And I use trolling. Listen to that word.
Almost on.
Kenny's got to be feeling pretty good right now because he actually has almost a half of a second lead over his GG teammate, J.C. Evans. Tim Wortman Jr. still running the fastest laps on the circuit right now, but he is literally a tenth of a second off of Kenny Powell's fastest time. Ooh, that last lap, it was 0.3 of a second.
And this is where everything is going to add up. We got to start looking at these little incremental things over time to start being able to predict these kind of changes over the course of a couple laps as best that we can.
Yeah, so
when
basically,
we get to this green flag, right? Sorry, go on.
I said, so basically what we're saying is Tim Wortman Jr. is actually, he's come out of tire saving and conservation phase, and he's starting to make his dash towards the front. And I don't know if he's actually going to make that pass before or after we actually go to green flag pit stop, Joe.
I'm going to guess he's going to try to make it before. That's my guess, though. It looks like he's got the speed to catch up. And if he does, I don't think he's going to turn that momentum off for 1 second.
Yeah, because I think two things are happening. I think he's actually, not necessarily just getting faster. I think Powell's actually starting to get slower as well. We're over halfway through this thing. They're within their fuel window now. I think we got 72 laps left to go. So if this thing were to go, if the caution were to come out, they would actually be able to go and get fuel and make it the remainder of the race on that one stop. So we're at one stop territory here, Joe.
Yeah, we are. We're going to see who's going to be the first to take that stop. Who will be the first to throw a wrench into their own plan with the hopes of making it all the way to the end and in first place. I think Powell's a good bet. We'll see. Just wonder how he's going to do it. Is he going to dive in the last second? Try to cut across the line with just a spare mile per hour is fair?
So I'm thinking, 20 laps from now, they'll actually start to come in, be 50 laps to go in the race. That's a little bit more than the halfway of this. That's in between the two stages there. Ideally, they will be trying to get it closer to 35 to 40 laps to go in the race before they would actually come in. But I don't know if these guys are going to be able to make it that long. And plus, the closer we got, the longer those runs got, the more laps on those tires we kept running in the cautions.
Yeah.
Now, the track temp, though, in our defense, is actually down from 111, where we started at, to 102 degrees. And it's only 1 degree cooler in the stands. So it was 84 degrees in the stands. It's now 83. But the track temp, that's going to be the big story here. That's going to be the big story. It's now at 102 degrees. Tim Wortman Jr. now all over the bumper of the boss, Kenny Powell.
Ooh, Wortman falls off a little bit in the turn. Tries to get it back in the straight.
Yeah, I think he came up and actually got that air off of the diffuser. And sometimes, it seems like you're running in clean air because there's such a gap between these guys that you kind of get that feeling. But here he is now. He's actually all over the back bumper, going to be trying to come down on the inside as they approach the start-finish line.
Let's see. Yep, that staggered approach. Much more conducive to getting passes done within safety of your own car and the other guy's car. All right. Kenny Powell crossing the line, lap 102. We're in the triple digits. I want to thank Butt Kicker for sponsoring tonight's race. I want to thank you folks for watching. If you're watching there on YouTube, go ahead and click that button for us, the like and subscribe, hit the bell. Want to make sure that we notify you of all the stuff we're doing here, and when races start up, you'll be the first to know.
We got Greg Wachinski's racing Richard Kleiman right now. These two are going to be battling for fourth place. Wachinski just made the pass, as we did see that there's action and activity down on pit road. The 63 car Jerry Walters actually making the stop. But on the racetrack, green flag racing continues. Not showing any sign of slowing down as Wachinski now starting to assert himself. And also, Kleiman has to deal with Mark Sanchez, who's slowly starting to eat at that gap as well.
Let's look back at the Mark Sanchez. Yep, there we go. Sanchez is the end of that little block of cars. After him, it's Jose Medina, who's a little bit further back. But Sanchez has got a chance to climb up through a few cars to get some positions back. He had a pretty good start to the night. He started up in third place, and now he's fallen back just a little ways here. So I think he might be saving again, but we'll see.
Yeah, definitely running pretty strong, though. You remember Mark even actually led this thing a couple of laps, so he's got to feel pretty good about that. Speaking of lead, and we're looking back at the lead here as Tim Wortman Jr. now starts to make his move on the 24 car. Kenny Powell. Wortman Jr. is going to be high, Powell's low. And remember, that high car is always going to kind of get – you're going to make him pass you high. I don't care what anybody says, and Kenny does just that. Now Tim actually gets around him. So, like you said, with him actually putting forth that effort to pass Powell, that makes me think that they're not coming down the pit anytime soon.
No, sir. He's going to stay out as long as he can. And we'll see that play out very, very shortly here, because this race is going to start to fly by. I got a feeling it's already moving pretty quick. We're on lap 106 out of 167. Wortman Jr. out in front of Kenny Powell and J.C. Evans. Powell
also
within... That's all good. I was just going to say Powell within half a second of our leader.
Yeah, also looking on the track right now, I'm watching Jerry Walters as well as Jerry Walters and Derek Jacobs. These two guys are going to be running right there together. And the reason why I'm watching them is I know Walters just pit, so he is going to be that marker child. He is going to be doing everything he can to kind of stay on the lead lap. So that's where you're going to see that. And Jacobs is going to be doing everything he can to not get lapped. So the closer the leader can get to the 27, I think is when you're going to see the 27 actually start to pit. With 60 laps to go, though, still not quite in that comfort window, I think, that everybody wants to take him home. What do you think?
Still not in that covered window. I would be pitting right about here. I would be. I'd want to run this thing with as much gas as I could to the very end. But that's just my strategy. I don't think it's a very good one. Would you be waiting for the signal, or would you be trying to set the signal?
You know me, I'm staying out. I'm going to run that thing as long as I can, and I'm going to tell the driver to conserve. We've been conserving the whole time at this point, because the further we can get on this tank of gas and this set of tires, the faster we're going to be in that last segment. And that's what you want.
Drive it.
You want the driver to be able to be comfortable, so you're not going to be telling them to conserve. Yeah, you're conserving now, because once we actually come back into the pits, we're going to put them bareback on this thing. You know what I mean? He ain't going to have no saddle. It's going to be whip it and go.
It's going to be time to drive hard. And
so we've been conserving all the way up to this point, and that's been the key. That's been the name of the game, because you don't want to sequence out. And what I mean when I say that, you don't want to be a guy that comes down so early in the sequence to pit that you find yourself like not a factor in the end of this thing because you've already gone through your new set of tires, and you know your tires are just worn. So it's awesome that all of these guys are still in the hunt. Everybody's hat is still on the table, if you will. No one's been dejected, rejected, and some people have even been projected. Got a car sliding right there. I do believe that was a 00. He is really going to be off the pace right now, and that might actually weigh in on his decision to come down pit road as he loses a spot. That spot is going to be to
Van Shook here. Yeah, he's been all over tonight. You're talking about the 00 car, right?
Yeah, literally. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. Both, I think. It feels like he's been a little bit all over. He's down 4 from where he started. We've seen him up from where he started too, I think. And now he's just trying trying not to fall too far back.
Yeah, right now these guys have got 50 laps on their tires in this stint. There's still 55 laps to go. So in my mind, that tells me they need to do at least 10 more in order to make it to the good. So you shouldn't see anybody coming down prematurely right now because you don't want to leave more. Oh, just like that, here comes Mark. Look, these guys are tuned into what I'm saying. They're just proving me to be Casey Evans, Paula Osen. I'm just going to sit here and just be no, I'm not. I'm going to sit here and be a dumbass.
I think you did good, man. You literally said now is not the time, and then they immediately pit. Right. I think though that they are. This is just part of a different layer of strategy, and I want to see how this kind of strategy plays out. This early pit strategy is something that I would fall into. I couldn't tell you why, but I would, and so I kind of want to see how this plays out for these guys now.
Well, I know why, because at this point, especially, the car is handling like crap. You got more laps on it in that stint than you've had on it all night, which means it's probably more laps you had on it all week. You know what I mean? So at that point, anybody's just looking for a lifeline. And correct me if I'm wrong, whether it's in the chat or if you're hearing it right now. I mean, let me know what you think. I'm just, my job is just, I get paid to talk. Kenny never said anything about being right. Like my shrink says, I'm seldom right, but never in doubt.
I like that. Yep. That's a good way to put it. That's kind of I think I got hired on the same principle.
No, my shrink really, he literally says that about me.
Well, it sounds as long as it sounds pretty accurate to me. I mean,
it's good.
It's good advice.
That's why my shrink and I are not friends on Facebook.
Well, it's probably a good professional distance that you're keeping right there. I think that's a good idea.
Yeah.
I've seen, I remember there was a movie series called Analyze This, Analyze That, where that was the whole problem of the movie.
Well, yeah. Got another car down on pit road. That's going to be the 5 of Gary Wachinski. Loving that paint scheme that the 5's also rocking tonight. I believe that's another Kenny Powell special.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of Kenny Powell, Kenny Powell himself actually comes down pit road right now. And right now with 50 to go, I mean, that right there throws it in their favor. So this is what I believe is going to be that magic point. You didn't want to have 55 laps to go, 50 laps in the stint. You wanted to have 55 laps in the stint with 50 laps to go. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah, just kind of. I'm trying to wrap my brain around it a little bit. It's a little bit of a NASCAR math, but I think I get what you're saying.
Yeah, you want to have fewer laps because you'll be able to run faster longer. So those guys that came in early, they were struggling on their handling. So they were like, I can make it to the end if I pit now. But the Passover, the trade-off is going to be they're going to be handling like crap towards the end of the race, which means they could possibly wreck and bring out a caution, but that's what you run into right there. So you want, like right now you see the 48 car, he is coming in the pit. So if you think about it, he is going to be set up the best because he'll only have 48 laps to go on this set of tires.
It's a good way to look at it. I didn't quite think about it like that, but Jose Medina is going to be in fine shape.
So as long as the caution doesn't come out, he'll be sitting good. And here comes Tim Wortman Jr., also set himself up to be in great position because what is he looking at? He's wanting to be able to whip that pony harder for longer. And you can't do that if you came in early. Those guys that came in and exercised the early pit cycle, they're going to have to conserve. And towards the end of this thing, they're not going to be able to go. You're not going to be able to turn them loose. They're going to be hanging on for dear life because their tires are going to be at the end of their life. Where if you look at the guys that are pitting now, they're going to be right there in that sweet spot, Joe.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and if they can take advantage of that sweet spot, we're going to see an explosive end of this race. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing, Big Al. I want to see a photo finish tonight.
Well, I can't guarantee you all of that, but I will guarantee you that it will be a green flag finish because, they'll have a little bit of life left in that pony. 00 of Charles Van Schwook. He is not yet pitted. He is right now approaching 60 laps on his equipment, so he is currently your leader. And he is not wanting to see the caution come out, I guarantee you that. But he doesn't care, but nobody else wants to see it.
Right. No, he
got
good if one came out.
Yeah, also got Jerry Walters with 20 laps on his tires. He is being scored in 4th. And then you have Derek Jacobs, who has 21 laps on his tires. But you got Derek Jacobs, who's also on pit road right now. So, and Derek is going to stay on the lead lap.
Alrighty.
Yeah,
Derek Jacobs
we'll have to watch
holding on to it.
That strategy might work out for him. We're going to see how that plays out. We'll be watching. Oh, got a car bouncing off the wall.
Yeah, who is that?
That's Jerry Walters.
Oh no.
Remember,
Caught up in some traffic.
Well, Jerry's got 21 laps on his tires, so he's got 15 laps more on his tires than the guys around him, so they're going to be considerably faster. And that's what we're going to run into, especially as we get down towards the end of this thing. It's coming up on 43 laps to go. Right now, the stage 1 was 35 laps, and at the end of stage 1, some of these guys were struggling to keep that thing pointed in the right direction. Stage 2 was the same. Now we're asking them to go an additional 15 laps on that, Joe, and still be fast and be competitive. So this is that stage where we ask more of the drivers, I do believe, than any other stage, especially having to do this under a green flag condition.
Oh yeah, the stage's length is just a different beast compared to the other two. Your brain is just to a different mode. It's not. Yeah, it's just not the same. It seems like it's going to be, and then it becomes a different set of constraints, different set of challenges. Oh, big slide from Charles Van Schwook as he tries to get across the line into pit road. Massive slide.
Take a look at that.
Yeah, let's look back in time right now. You gotta check this out. Big slide, a bounce off the inside wall potential. Just a course correction from the inside wall. Not a huge hit, but still, look at this slide.
No black flag, so he's good to go. He got it where it needed to be, so go Charles.
Go Charles. Wow. What an impressive. Now that was an aggressive pit stop there. I'll say that for sure. Because he had the car almost out from under him during that pit stop. He's got everything's looking set. Now he's back out on the road.
Loses fast.
Loses fast. That's true. That's what I keep hearing.
It's got to be right there on the edge of being uncontrollable. And that's me in life. Right there. Out of control.
That truth is being lived out by the 0-0 right now as well. So we'll see how far he can make it once the things get restarted here. We should be good to restart very soon.
I'll tell you who's feeling
everybody
really good
stacked
right
back
now.
up. Who's that?
That's J.C. Evans, man. J.C. Evans is in the perfect spot right now. He is currently leading this thing with 40 laps to go. So, and JC's already been there before, so he knows exactly what not to do to burn the tires off of that thing. He had the opportunity. He led a considerable amount of stage one where he was out front there being able to gauge his tire longevity. So now they've got that data. What he has to do is conserve the lead, which is not going to be easy, but he does have the cushion of having his G&G teammate Mark Sanchez in between him and the 83 car of Tim Wortman Jr.
Yeah.
Tim Wortman Jr. right now being scored in third place. He's going to be trying to make his way up to the front. Now he is dragging behind him Greg Wychinski and Kenny Powell. All three of these guys are going to be trying definitely to get up front here so they can actually throw. I mean, they want to put a lasso right now around JC Evans. They're just trying to reel him in. And JC has to be smart. He has to not feel that pressure and not drive too fast. As long as he can keep maintaining his pace, right, and setting the pace for the race, he's going to be fine. But if he sees these guys and he's watching that relative and they're starting to get closer to him, and then he starts to feel the need to drive faster. Plus, he's got Mark Sanchez, like literally, Sanchez is frisky Evans right now. He's got his hand back pockets, his front pockets. You know, you got anything that'll stick and poke.
Yep.
You know, he has literally got him down on the street. and, you know, JC's like, you're violating my rights.
Yeah, from how close these guys are driving, that is definitely the case. JC Evans is keenly aware of how close he is right now to Mark Sanchez, and Tim Horton Jr. is also getting a face load from Greg Wychinski. There's a lot of really close racing going on up here at the front still, where these guys are just trying to stay tucked into each other's air, it seems like, and to make use of that, maybe for a little bit of tire saving.
Yeah, these guys are trying to get to the last lap. That's what they're racing to get. They don't care how long it takes. They just want to get there as fast as possible. And that's going to cause, man, it could potentially cause Ralph to start waving that flag. He's had a great night. Him and Thomas have been sitting down, actually. I saw him when he walked by. He was drinking a Coke, eating a RC. He had a RC Cola and a moon pie right there. And I was like, dude, only in Vegas right there. So
hell yeah.
He's enjoying his time off. Really been a slow night. But if these guys continue the pace that they're going, we'll need them back up here in the flag stand because it's going to get sporty. And what I mean when I say that, you got the 83 of Tim Wortman Jr., and he only wants to be in one place, and that's first. This guy is a winner, and he knows that he has one shot at winning this thing tonight, and that's going to be getting up front in the slowest and the quickest amount of laps possible because he can't afford to make that pass 20 laps from now. Do you understand what I'm saying? He has got to make that pass right now where his tires are the freshest. And then once he get out front, then he can deal with clean air, defensive, and actually try to hold the lead. But right now, he is trying to get up there to take the lead. And he goes by J.C. Evans. Evans is feeling it right now. This is where he's starting to think, man, I made the wrong choices because I'm not going to be up here at the end of this thing. But, yeah, you had your time.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
Three G&G take out each other. Caution flag comes out. I can't say it again. I'll say that again. G on G violence. That is what just occurred right there. We're going to unpack that. We're going to look at that a couple more times. And with that caution coming out, that's going to change things because I guarantee you it's going to get busy down on pit road. And everybody should be taking 4.
You're right. Absolutely. This is the signal to take 4 tires. Let's see what happened. There, the 9. Ooh, the 9 came down hard to the inside. That's JC Evans. It looks like he course corrected to avoid the wall and just went too far.
Well, that's unfortunate for those 3 guys, but it's very fortunate for our sponsors because with that caution out, we're going to actually take a step away, get a word from our sponsors, and that'll set us up to give you extended play coverage towards the end of this thing. So with that, we'll be right back.
At Trader Joe's, we do things a little differently, and our customers hold us to a very high standard. This is Dan Bain of Trader Joe's. We work hard to live up to the high standard you've come to expect of us. We travel the world to bring you unique, exciting, exotic products, as well as the basics like milk, eggs, and butter, all at the very best prices every day. We also believe that a satisfying shopping experience is about more than just good products. We want you to enjoy shopping at Trader Joe's. The upbeat crew members, the samples of wonderful food served up by our great demo crew, so you'll come back often and bring your family and friends too. And how's this for unique? We're so confident that you'll be happy with the products you find at Trader Joe's, we even have a distinctive guarantee. We've tried it and we liked it, but if you don't, just bring it back for a full refund. Thanks for listening.
We are back, folks, at the ISCA Live Super Cup Series Thursday night race from Las Vegas. It's Joe LaCastro and Big Al up in the booth with Kobe down in the trucks, bringing you the last stretch of Stage 3 of tonight's race here in Las Vegas. We are getting ready to go. The lights are off on the pace car. It's Mark Sanchez and Tim Wortman Jr. out in front. Lap 38 of 167 tonight. And when we go around now, it's going to be an exciting one. We've got a 12. I think now we have left a 10-car field. Looks like we've lost a few over the course of the night. But let's get these 10 gladiators to the end and see how things play out.
Yeah, Derek Jacobs, the last driver to throw his name over there. But here we go. Pace car's out. And just like that, we're off and away. Mark Sanchez leading us through that Geico restart zone. Solid start. That's going to put Tim Wortman Jr. right behind him and J.C. Evans, Mark's G&G teammate, in third place. That last unfortunate caution actually was a caution that was involved in three G&G teammates between J.C. Evans, J.C. Evans, Kenny Powell, and Greg Wotensky. And just like that, we got another car into the wall.
A lot of wall sunning back there.
I believe that was Greg Wotensky again.
Yeah, I don't know who that was, but there was someone who had just hit the wall about 3 times hard in rapid succession. I think it might have been Paul Olson. He is very smashed up. That 43 is really beat up right now. You look at the front of that car. There's a lot of damage on the front of the 43. He went smashing into the wall a couple of times there. Yeah, you can see it a little bit there.
Probably got a broken toe link by now if he didn't have one then. I looked and didn't see any damage repairs on that car. But I'm definitely believing that he has to have some required repairs there. Definitely looks like a broken toe link, so that's going to put him behind the wall for the foreseeable future, probably at least 8 minutes. So not sure if he's going to make it back out there tonight. But, hey, good shout out to Paul. At least he gets the top 10 finish, right?
Yeah, at least he gets that top 10 finish. That's a great way to look at it for the racers tonight.
Tim Wortman Jr. now up front leading this thing. He's got Mark Sanchez behind, but here comes Jerry Walters, in the 63 car. I know a guy named Derek Walters. That's the reason why that actually trips me up there, guys. You probably felt that before. You know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody. But Jerry Walters now making his way up into third place. He's going to be putting the nose down on the inside of the 29 Mark Sanchez mobile. Jerry Walters going to be right there. Jerry has actually had a pretty eventful night here tonight. He has been in and out of trouble. He's now on the inside of J.C. Evans, hoping that he is not the next one to get knocked out. J.C. and Jerry go into the corner. This sounds like a bad Christian joke.
JC, haha. Every time I hear that name, I think exactly the same thing. But let's see what happens here, as it looks like Mark Sanchez is falling back a little bit. Not quite able to keep up the momentum out of these exits the same way that Tim Wortman Jr. is. And that's keeping him crossing both the upper line and the lower line. The inside and the outside right now are both home to Mark Sanchez. And since he can't quite cycle into which one he's going to stick with, it's causing the cars around him to kind of maintain a pace with him rather than get that pass.
Yeah, and the cool thing is these guys actually experience this condition right now in stage one. This is stage one racing right here at the end. As you see, a lot of smoke there coming off to the 00 as he makes contact with the wall. But these drivers should know where their adjustments need to be and how hard they can drive the cars before they lose that loving feeling. So they've already experienced that one in stage one. And right now you got J.C. Evans pushing it hard beside the 29 car Mark Sanchez. The 00 is coming up. He is trying to get in the third wheel, somewhat sandwiched. It looks like the Canadian Air Force. You could say that joke maybe about 6 months ago, and it wouldn't be offensive now, I don't know. But I did see the Canadian Air Force actually flying north there, let us know that summer's almost over. No, almost back. That's it.
I think I know what you're talking about. But these guys are, they are in formation right now. Here comes J.C. Evans now down to the inside, looking for a spot from Tim Wortman Jr. A little bit of contact,
got a little bit too close for comfort.
Yep. Oh, and smoke off the wall now from Charles Van Shook.
Yeah, cautions breed cautions, man. And we're old one, and these guys are trying to pay it forward as fast as they can. Right now, Tim Wortman Jr., though, your race leader, he's doing everything he can to stay out front because behind him, calamity ensues. Single file racing for the time being, but the 00 still trying to make his move on J.C. Evans. Mark Sanchez had to lead tonight, man. Kudos to Mark. He has definitely led a lot of laps here tonight, and I know he can taste a victory. Mark's already got one win in the ISCA. I believe he won it was a Talladega or Daytona that he won. So I know he's excited and would love to duplicate that here tonight. Even though this is a non-points event, it still is a race.
Yeah, you want to win, and like I said earlier, whether it's a points race, it's a championship race, it's a non-official race, you're still going to race it as hard as you possibly can, and in some cases you race it even harder.
Yeah, no doubt. You remember that the first race started as soon as the second car was built.
Yeah, there you go. As soon as the second car was built, that's a great way to look at it. And we are within the 20 laps now. And one lap 149, looking for 150 out of 167.
Yeah, everybody's starting to feel the pressure right now. Definitely wanting to get up to the front. This is the go time. You got to go while you still can make moves. Once these good years start to wear out, you're really going to be at momentum and gravity. You're going to drift up the racetrack. Not going to be able to have that clear cut, concise carving that you need right now in order to run around a guy or inside a guy. So, I mean, it's precious right now. I do believe with 18 laps to go, this is about the time to be making your move.
Yep, this is it. You're right. This is the window. This is the green flag for making your move. Waves right now. So let's see who's in a position to make a move. Who's in a position to actually take a spot and make it stick from that point on. I think Charles is right now. Our man up in second place. He's if he had enough speed, if he could stay on that top line and gain momentum, he'd be able to take the lead potentially from Tim Wortman Jr. But behind him, you've also got J.C. Evans. And behind Evans, you've got Mark Sanchez. These are all names of guys who are driving with a style that says, I can get past you if I really want to. So I'm looking forward to seeing that style on display here.
Yeah, I definitely think it's going to come down between the 00 and the 83 because, well, these guys have done what it takes to put themselves where they are right now. And you know, I'm watching Paul Olsen has actually made it back onto the racetrack. That means that 10 out of the 12 drivers that actually started this thing are going to finish it. So that's awesome for us. You know, you can't have a better attrition rate. You know what I mean? That's whatever it is, but, you know, it's still pretty dang good. So with that, now it's just I mean, honestly, we're down to see if we can tear up any more cars.
Yep, and I think we're going to. You know, don't have a lot of laps left, but we can still tear it up. In fact, we have about 15 laps left.
Indeed, we will. J.C. Evans slightly off the pace. Terry Walters going to make it down on his inside. Walters now back on the hunt. He was actually moving forward a little bit ago. He had stepped on his toe, think kind of hollered and fell back. But here he is now kind of pointing in the right direction. He's getting the band back together. JC says, he's making a comeback too. He's going to be right there on the inside, trying to do whatever he can to keep the 63's night from being anything but smooth. The 29 of Mark Sanchez battling on the inside of the 00 as Charles Van Schwook does what he can to try to get up front. Charles cheated out of a victory last week. Hopefully he can actually recover and get one this week. But remember, this is only his second week in the lead, ladies and gentlemen, and he is doing spot on, doing a dang good job as Mark Sanchez shows his car in and around, and J.C. Evans is going to be looking to do the same thing. He's got the 48 of Jose Medina that is going to be coming into the fray. Side by side, the 9 and the 00 go. This battle is for third place, as it looks like that 9 car is going to be sliding up. The 00 is going to squeeze him in the corner. 00 still holding strong, going to get it done. Mark Sanchez trying to get away from the calamity. He's trying to distance himself from that in the battle, which is for third place, doing the best he can. And now the 48 car, he says, hold on a second, let me go in there. And then we're going to go. 00 gets loose, puts the 48 into the wall. We still keep racing, green flags out. Everybody's pointed the right direction. It's going to cost Jose Medina just a little bit, and Jerry Walters is going to fall back out of the spot. Those two guys probably won't see their name on the top of the podium tonight, but J.C. Evans can breathe a little bit easier now. He just has to pull up on Mark Sanchez, and with 11 laps to go, that news could not have come at a better time, JoJo.
Yeah, wow. That news being that little scuff up that we just had, that really turned the tables for Charles there, who was running up. He was doing pretty good. And now it looks like things are going to be a little different for him. Lap 158 out of 167. Less than 10 laps to go, folks. So now the moves are being made, and they have to stick. So hopefully we'll see whose move can be made and who's going to stick, as we got just a little bit of racing left for you today.
Just a little bit, and I'm going to tell you that 83 of Tim Wortman Jr. has got to be feeling pretty good about the spot that he is in right now, because he has definitely got himself a 1-second lead, and there doesn't seem to be any opposition in his way. Up ahead, he's got nothing but clear skies. Blue skies up above me. Something like that. I don't know how it goes, but you know what I mean. And he is feeling pretty good, because as long as he can keep doing what he's doing right now, Tim Wortman Jr., ladies and gentlemen, might find himself in the winner's circle.
It'll be nothing but blue skies from now on. And we're looking forward to seeing if that's the case. I think it's definitely going to be Wortman Jr. now bouncing off the wall a little bit, I guess, in excitement to get things wrapped up here as he crosses and starts up lap 160 out of 167 for us. And this has been an exciting situation. A lot of green flag racing here tonight. And now the guys are all spread out and all hitting their top speeds as best they possibly can. So in terms of catching someone at this point, it's not going to happen. Not up at the front unless we've got something cataclysmic that happens, a meteor strike, a plague of locusts, something going on. These guys are going to be crossing in this order.
Or the commentator's curse.
Or the commentator's curse.
That one.
Quick, let's say a bunch of good things about Tim Wortman Jr. and how he's going to finish the race in first place, and it's not going to have any problems between now and then. And that's the commentator's curse for you. We're just trying to keep it interesting, folks. Nothing against Tim Wortman Jr. at all.
Yeah, but I've been watching Tim now for a while. This is his, I believe, second season in the league, and he's not that guy, man. He's not one that really has a whole lot of whoops. He's a guy that once he's up front, he seems to have come prepared to win. You know, and some guys, you can put them up front with 10 laps to 15 laps to go, and they're just not prepared for it. You know, whatever reason, something is going to come in the way. That's not Tim Wortman Jr. This guy is a winner. And so he's not going to step on he's not known for stepping on this crank, you know, unless his alter ego's out there tonight. I think you're right. I think we're going to be saying, hey, look at the Red Bull car here with 5 laps to go. Come on, Tim, let it flow, man. You're going to put this thing in the winner's circle.
And yes, he is. I believe so. Tim Wortman Jr. right now, lap 163, looking for 164. Very soon we'll be getting things done here. Mark Sanchez, J.C. Evans, Jose Medina, all out in front as well. We've had a few guys, unfortunately, had to drop from the race, and one guy is a number of laps down. Paul Olson's about 10 laps down from the main run. Derek Jacobs and Nick King both got DNFs, unfortunately. So we had a full field of 12 when this started, folks. Now we're down to a field of 9, effectively. Well, 10. I'm counting Paul Olson. Don't want to count him out. We have 10 cars on the field still. 4 laps to go. Thank you again so much for joining us. Remember, I'm going to mention again, you got to hear it. Like, subscribe, hit the bell. We've got all kinds of fun stuff.
Yeah, and speaking of that, too, if you know anybody that's looking for a spot to come and shine, well, why not come and shine at the ISCA? You can contact Kenny Powell for the instructions of joining the league, but right now we've got slots open, and that just means that you get to come out here and race against the best, and we'll call it fair, I promise. But the only way you're going to be able to do that is like, subscribe, join, and get in contact with Kenny Powell, and get us some more races out here in this league.
Bingo, bingo. Yep, and we'll always call them fair, right down the middle, the way we always do here at the ISCA, or at least the way I'm trying to do. This is my first season calling the ISCA, so I'm going to try to call it right down the middle, Big Al. You got to keep me honest.
Man,
do the
Joe,
best
how long
I
you
can.
gonna be new?
I don't know how long I'm going to be new. I'll be new to my dying day, man. I'm going to be the newbie until I'm done.
This ain't your first season, man. You've been here in spirit the whole time. We're just waiting on you to find the push to talk button. That's what it was.
I appreciate that. You know what? I'll go with that perspective. I've been here the whole time. As you know, I bet that's what Tim Wortman Jr. is feeling right now as he gets ready to cross the line, getting the white flag. We're in the final lap of tonight's race, folks. That was the sorry, the name of the race, 250. We just did 167 laps of Las Vegas. Tim Wortman Jr., Mark Sanchez leading things here. A big gap in the leaders, but wow, what a race. People switching leads. We had a little bit of wrecking here and there. And here he comes, Tim Wortman Jr. across the line to win it all. Looking good. That's a picture-perfect finish from Tim Wortman Jr., dominating lead over Mark Sanchez, and we'll bring you the unofficial results here in just a few moments.
I believe that's the
Let's take a look at that.
250.
The Trader Joe's 250, thank you. Oh, my brain was just disconnected there for a second while I was trying to remember who had sponsored tonight's race. The Trader Joe's 250 now with the unofficial results.
Just go down there and get you a bottle of that $2 chuck. We'll just everything will be okay. $2 chuck from Trader Joe's.
You got it, buddy. First place, Tim Wortman Jr. Congratulations again. Second place, Mark Sanchez. Third, Jose Medina. Fourth, J.C. Evans. Fifth, Jerry Walters. Sixth, Charles Van Schuck. Seventh, Greg Wachinski. Eighth, Kenny Powell. Ninth, Richard Kleinman. And 10th, Paul Olson. Rounding out that 12-car field, we had Derek Jacobs in 11th and Nick King in 12th. Let's look at these burnouts here. Looking good, looking good. I like that. I like going up on the little short track there, the Legends track, for a second. There we go, and into the grass for a little bit. All right.
Excellent control. I'm going to have to give him he's going to get a 95.7. 95.7 on that burnout there for the 83 car.
I like the specificity of that. The .7 is my favorite part. Well, folks, we're going to take a short break, And when we come back, we're gonna have some interviews with the race winners. So stay tuned for the wrap-up show here on the ISCA Live.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
At Trader Joe's, we do things a little differently, and our customers hold us to a very high standard. This is Dan Bain of Trader Joe's. We work hard to live up to the high standard you've come to expect of us. We travel the world to bring you unique, exciting, exotic products, as well as the basics like milk, eggs, and butter, all at the very best prices every day. We also believe that a satisfying shopping experience is about more than just good products. We want you to enjoy shopping at Trader Joe's. The upbeat crew members, the samples of wonderful foods served up by our great demo crew, so you'll come back often and bring your family and friends too. And how's this for unique? We're so confident that you'll be happy with the products you find at Trader Joe's, we even have a distinctive guarantee. We've tried it and we liked it, but if you don't, just bring it back for a full refund. Thanks for listening.
Welcome back, folks, to the ISCA Super Cup Series post-show. Joe LaCastro here with Big Al, and we are going to be talking to our second and first place finishers tonight. Big Al, I'm going to pass the microphone over to you to talk to Mark Sanchez. Take it away. Big Al, did I lose you? All right, I might have lost Big Al there. Mark, how you doing tonight?
Good, yourself?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. You know, we just watched you guys go around do 167 laps. You went from third to second, but you also moved around just like everybody else during this race. Tell me, what was your, we had a few cars less in the field than usual. What was your experience of this race, given that there was a lot of green flag racing?
Well, green flag racing is always nice, and we'll get back to that. Yeah, I just used the first and second stage kind of to learn what my car needed or what it would do. I pushed real hard in the first run and lost a lot of spaces towards the end. So I knew Tim was going to be the one to beat tonight. So I kind of just gauged my speed off of him that last run to try and save some tires.
Well, seems like it worked out there. We got you were able to hold on to second place. You were part of what team do you race for? I forgot. Sorry, off the top of my head. Are you part of the Gas and Co Go crew?
G&G Racing.
G&G Racing. Yeah, you guys had a lot of guys out there tonight. Were you guys doing some coordinating over on Discord while you guys were racing?
No, I don't think so. We were fighting each other pretty hard.
Yeah, actually going for it. Well, that's good. That's good to hear. No deciding ahead of time, like I'm going to push you for the win or any of that.
No, it was such a small field. We were just having fun.
Good. Well, I'm really glad to hear it. Well, it was nice to have you out for the second place finish tonight. Anybody you want to thank or shout out?
Oh, my teammates, of course, Gas and Go and G&G. You guys in the booth for calling the race. It was kind of a short field, but I hope we put on a good show.
I'd say so, yeah. Big Al and I had a great time up here calling it, and so we look forward to seeing it again. And we'll catch you up here next time, hopefully. Okay.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right, Mark, take care. Have a good rest of your night. That was Mark Sanchez. Big Al, do we have you back up here in the studio?
Yeah, man, I was back. I just pressed the wrong button, so I missed out
don't
on
even
that
worry
one.
about
I
it.
was wanting to talk to Mark. He's gonna have to get back up here next week though to make up for it.
Yeah, that's the idea. Yeah. We'll
Mark,
get
just
you back
wanted to
up
say,
here.
you know, good on you, man. I definitely want to applaud your efforts. It's great to see, you know, you put in a lot of work. So it's great to see that pay off for you and you actually get up on the podium tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, Big Al, I'm going to actually pass the mic over to you if you'd like to talk to Jose Medina, who finished third place tonight.
Yeah, Jose Medina, Big Al up in the booth. You got me.
Yes, Big Al, I'm here, Big Al.
Jose, man, long time no talk. We've been waiting on you to bring this thing home on the podium so we can get you up in the booth and hear about what's going on, man. Talk to us. Congratulations, first of all, for bringing it home here in P3 tonight. I know that you didn't have a lot of opportunity to maybe practice or work with folks, but looks like you didn't need it, man. Tell us, what was key to your third place finish tonight?
Rolling on the turns, a lot of patience, trying to save the tires as much as can, and then the guys in front of me, and it worked out and it paid off. I mean, I got a podium, and I haven't been up here ever. I don't believe so here in ISCA, so I'll take it.
Yeah, definitely. I think this is your second season in the league and your first podium, but the competition's pretty steep. But we've been watching you, Jose, and you're definitely improving. So overall, how has the league treated you, and what do you look forward to in the future? What are some things that you would like to see, or maybe some things that you would like to see improve with yourself? Jose?
Yeah, some teammates. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Okay, yeah, some teammates. That's what I need. I need teammates on my group. But besides that, man, I love this league, man. I love the broadcasting. You guys do a great job. Everybody behind the scenes. Oh man, it's great broadcasting. And then of course Kenny, man. You know he runs a great league. I love the league. So just pure enjoyment for me, man.
Well, definitely, man. We're glad to have you along, and congratulations. I know it's not easy to get on the podium, especially in a league like this. But, Jose, you did it tonight, man. So who are you going to shout out for that? But before we do, next week, I do believe we're headed to Talladega. And that's going to be one of these tracks right here where you really do need a dance partner. So I guess I'm going to ask you to go ahead and give your best plea for a dance partner, and then thank everybody that you want to for your performance here tonight.
Yeah, man, I'll take anybody to help me out. And I mean, yeah, I don't have no teammates, so I'm about to blend in there somewhere, and just pick my poison and choose the right people, you know. And hopefully they stick with me, they don't drop me. But as to shout outs for the race, I have of course Kenny Powell for running a great ISCA league. I love his admin. As an owner, I love them. And then the league sponsors, also of course the broadcasting crew, Big Al and Joey. You know, you guys do a great scenes and behind the scenes admins that help make this a great league. Also, one paint designer I have that made me this. It's called First to Engage Motorsports. It's a friend of mine that used to be a Marines. Or he is a Marine, but he did his service as a Marine, and he has a business called First to Engage Motorsports. That's roll cages for off-road, and I give him a big shout out. His name is Jay Darger, and he's an awesome guy, man. I've been friends with him for a long time, for about over 3 years in iRacing. And then my paint designer Ferdy Annie at Plus EV Paints, and of course Pacifico Cerveza, you know, can't forget about that. And shout out to all the Marines. And one more thing, final thanks to all the fans watching, supporting. Hope you all enjoyed the race. Thank you.
Hey man, thank you, and the shout out. Remember, when you said that, I was like, "Yeah, once a Marine, always a Marine." So, Semper Fidelis for all those Marines and the fans of the Marines out there. Congratulations to you, Jose. Couldn't have happened to a better guy. I'm gonna throw him back over to you, Joe, as we get out of here for tonight.
And for the Marines, one shout out, Simplify.
All right, that's what we like to hear. Semper Fi, and then right back at you. We've got one more person to talk to, Big Al, and then we're going to be wrapping things up for the night, and that person is our winner, Tim Wortman Jr. Tim, can you hear us?
Yeah, I got you.
All right. Well, you went from the pole position to the podium tonight, and everywhere in between, it seemed. There was a point where I almost had you written off. What were you doing back there during the first stage? Was it just a tire saving strategy?
Yeah, I mean that's what you got to do. I was hoping they wouldn't learn too much from that, yeah, it's just had to pace yourself. The tires burn off real fast, and you know, we have long green flag runs in this league, so you know, you don't want to go out and run as hard as you can. You'll pay for it, you know, after 20-25 laps, and that's what I did in practice. Was just went through some of my sets and picked the corner speed and didn't go above it, and saw after 30 laps which one didn't wear out the most, and that's what I went with.
Well, you know, it looks like it paid off, because as soon as you did the math on that, you were running up front for the rest of the night. And some commanding moments up front indeed. You finished with a full gap of almost 2.5 seconds ahead of Mark Sanchez there. Really very impressively done. Towards the end of that of that race, you know, you had a bunch of team members in there. Did any of your team members give you a run for your money that you remember specifically, or anyone that you thought maybe, man, this guy might actually catch up, or might actually cause me tonight?
Yeah, I didn't have any team members with me tonight, but I definitely saw from how these guys were running tonight when we had that caution there with about 30 to go. I knew that you could run the car as hard as you wanted for 25 to 30 laps. So I knew that the whole field was about to give me a run. So what I had to do was get out front and, you know, maybe get that 4 or 5 tenths lead and save whenever I could. And then, you know, what was it, Mark or JC got a good run on me there. You know, I let my guard down for a minute, and you know, just trying to keep that lead, because I didn't want, you know, if they got by me and I got in dirty air, I didn't want to have to fight it back. So they ran really hard there for the last 30 laps.
Yeah, those looked like some brutal laps there that you guys were putting on, especially at the end. But I want to say you put on a hell of a show. You went from first to first. Is there anybody you'd like to shout out to or thank tonight for your performance?
Man, I want to shout out Mark and Jose. And it's hard not to love Jose's energy. It's good to see him up there getting to talk to you guys tonight. It's just, I raced with these guys for a long time, and you know, good to see him up here with me on the podium and having a fun night like we did. And you know, thank my guys at Warrior Racing. Nick King puts me in a great looking car every week. You know, I tell him, you know, here's the idea I have and what I want to do with my company logo, and he does exactly what I want with it. You know, he's done that 7-8 times over. You know, and the guys at Ryco for putting me in a great set. And, you know, the track temp was a little bit different than what we had in officials this week, and I was able to go through some old sets and found something that just absolutely ripped.
And ripped they did. Absolutely. Congratulations one more time for that first place finish, and we look forward to seeing you up here on the podium again very soon.
Good to be talking with you guys.
And that was Tim Wortman Jr. wrapping things up here with the interviews from the ISCA Super Cup Series Thursday night race. Big Al, what's your takeaway from tonight?
From the Super Cup Series, it was just an awesome race, man. Doesn't matter how many cars come out. You know, we proved that. Doesn't matter what the overall I rating is. You just need at least 2 good cars, a couple guys with great attitudes, man, and a place to make it all happen, and that'll give us something to talk about. So, thanks, Kobe, for doing everything you do down in the booth, man, making us look good, making us feel good. Thank you, Joe. Thanks, Kenny, for the lead. Thanks to drivers for showing up tonight, giving us time. Thanks for their family members for giving them the time to give us the time. Thank you for taking the time to watch us. Thanks for our sponsors, and thank you again, Joe. Back at you.
I couldn't put it any better myself. Thanks everybody for watching tonight. And if you are interested in watching some more, be sure to hit that like, subscribe, hit the bell. We've got more coming up. Check out ISCA-racing.com. And next week, it's going to be Talladega Super Speedway. I love it. So we look forward to it, and we'll see you real soon, folks. Take care and have a great rest of your night.
I found the ISCA after I'd been in the service for a long time. I'd been in iRacing for well over a decade and spent most of my time in NASCAR series, a lot of fixed racing for the most part, and really just got to a point in my iRacing career where I really wanted to get involved in open setup racing versus fixed, partially because I was just looking for a little higher level of competition, you know, maybe a little cleaner driving and maybe get away from some of the challenges that go along with fixed racing on the service. And it took me a while as I was really searching out leagues because I kind of had a very specific thing I was looking for. A, I wanted to be an established league. You know, B, I just really wanted clean, quality drivers to be racing around. And once I found the ISCA, I found out really quick that it was going to check